bad guess, but it's bananas.
Shit, wrong screen. That didn't happen. No one saw that. Welcome. I've got that low signal thing saying my connection's unstable. But I'm also hardwired in, so that also doesn't make any damn sense. Whatever. Welcome to 68. Next episode will be 69. I have yet to figure out how I'm going to make a play on that. There will be funnies. There will be fun things. I was disappeared and resurrected, as you can see, thanks to the wonderful in the thumbnail. I was actually resurrected and brought back to life. Anyone asking about the pink handcuffs in the thumbnail and what they had to do with needing CPR will be banned from the chat automatically. That's no questions asked about that. That's just that there was a picture. I couldn't fucking paparazzis and shit. You guys know how it is. When you're as famous as I am, you know, and you have to deal with all this kind of stuff. Like I'm so famous, and it's crazy dealing with it like all the time. Like I'm hosting Jeopardy, I'm impersonating the guy who hosts Jeopardy, I'm stalking people, I'm doing all this horrible shit. There's just a lot of things to manage, and I'm just really good, you know, managing all that stuff and being, you know, well, just as good as I am. You know, I mean, I'm kind of perfect, but not really. Anyway, but I'm kidding, obviously. For those who know me, that's clearly a joke. It's not anything like my personality. Say, but welcome back. It's been too long. Say, is my audio coming through okay? I'm seeing some static coming through. Hold on. Where's that cable running through? Hold up. I might need to reset my audio drivers. Give me a moment. Let me try this. Where's my... One second. Nope, that won't do it. All my cables are seated properly. That's so weird. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna unplug it and plug it back in. While I do that, let me give you the wonderful, not fully completed technical difficulties video. I'll be right back. Okay, it should work now. I should have the right microphone selected. You know, you take a 2-month break and it's like you don't know what the fuck you're doing again. It should sound better. Thank you, NVIDIA Broadcast. Thank you, expensive laptop. But, oh, see, of course, technical issues. First 5 minutes, fucking spot on. This is exactly how I expect episode 68 to go, so we can save all the goodness for episode 69. Because if this was episode 69, this would be a bust. So we're ironing out all the kinks. There's handcuffs in the thumbnail. Don't ask why. I couldn't find the paddle, whip, and other emojis that I've posted in the server before to add to the thumbnail. Or I would have put them there because I thought it was funny. But also, you should move those before you do like CPR and AED because metal conducts electricity and you can actually burn people. But yes, I am back, Justin. Welcome back. You guys are back. Same. I have an XLR mic, as someone said in the chat. Actually, for anyone who's curious about my audio setup, I have a Zoom ZDM1 broadcast dynamic microphone that runs through a green Amazon XLR cable into my Tube MP Project Series preamp that runs through another cheap ass cable from Amazon into my Behringer Euphoria UMC22 interface that runs through a nice little USB cable to my laptop. So it's that's just what it is. Am I still having audio issues? I shouldn't be. Is there no noise? Because I have a very high noise threshold. Okay, no noise. Okay, so maybe those people are just catching up. So sorry for those who are just catching up to live. Say, let me adjust a couple things up and see if that does anything to fix stuff. Because if it does, then because I know the NVIDIA broadcast when I have the settings really high will push a lot of processing onto my voice and bring it down. Plus, I have a tendency to talk quiet in general, so that's something that gets me in trouble sometimes. Because it's obviously hard to get shit right. Okay, there we go. Everyone's good. No complaints. There's no management to speak to today. I am your manager. Say, I think I know what I'm doing. We'll find out. But for those who are oh, I can't do that because I don't have my plan updated. That's dumb. Uh, I fucking need to really renew my subscription to Streamlabs. Anyway, first I want to say thank you to the people who haven't unsubscribed and left my channel over the last 2 months. It's also like the 2-year anniversary of my channel. I didn't fucking realize that, so I logged into my YouTube studio earlier. It was like, happy birthday to your channel. I was like, oh shit, it's been that long. So I guess happy birthday to Ken's counseling couch for starting out as Kiwi Farms Ken Jennings, who still gets called out by Nick Rakita and others because that's just what's stuck, even though it's been so long since they've been on the forums because of all the issues in Keffels and other people making it hard to get there because of servers and DNS and all that shit. But anyway, I've only lost like 5 people in the last 28 days, which is great. I can't imagine, like, that's amazing that for no fucking content in a month, over 2 months, almost 2 months, in 28 days, I lost 5 people, which I expected. People drop off, it happens. If I go to the last 90 days, I've got decent returning viewers. I'm up 3 subscribers the last 90 days than I was, which is surprising. So even with the 8 or with the 5 lost in the last 30, I'm still up 3 over 90. For the last 90 days, I'm 111% more subscribers than the previous 90 days. So I apparently had like 1.5 subscribers ish. And I had more unique views this 90 days. Almost 50% more unique views, which is good. That helps me get some more exposure. So like, share uh, the channel. My big shout out to, and I don't give you guys enough credit, my local supporters. You guys are the fucking shit. Since everything's been going on, the way my situation's been, the local support, that $5 a month people throw down, or however much you throw down, the way, because I have mine set up to just roll in whenever you deposit it or you pay. So like I'll get payments dropping in my bank account, like $5 here, $5 there, $10 here, $25 here, because a lot of people sign up around the same date, and those little $5 and $10 things are very helpful throughout the month. Money gets low, need to grab something quick. I don't have to worry about you know not having enough money or taking care of essentials if something got accidentally missed and then you're buying shit or something comes up. Like, so let me go ahead and fucking rant. So I'm gonna fucking rant because I am so pissed. So let me go ahead and let's fucking create a banner. So we're gonna make a fucking banner because I am so fucking pissed right now. So I have always hated the idea of HOA, right? This has nothing to do with therapy. I don't care. I'm gonna diagnose this chick with toxic bitch syndrome, what I describe as transvaginal silica intrusion. For those who don't know what that means, it means sand in the vagina. This is my formal diagnosis. I'm completely a medical doctor in this context. There's no way that can be taken as sarcasm. For anyone fucking listening, especially for my neighbors across the fucking street diagonally, you are a fucking cunt, right? So, this bitch, I live in a city. I live in the city. I live inside a decently sized city. It's not big, it's not tiny, but, it's average, right? Yeah. And we live inside the city limits, so of course you have city codes and stuff like that. But there's no HOA. This bitch apparently has a history, because for those of you who don't know, I live in Florida. Because that's kind of been outed already. I don't care at this point. There's like a shitload of people in Florida. Find me if you care. Just DM me. I might tell you if I'm on a good day. Anyway, live in Florida. A while ago, I think it was last year or something, they passed a law where if you made those stupid code complaints about your neighbors, that your name had to be attached to it, and you could no longer make an anonymous complaint unless it was like a life safety thing or like severe like shit, right? So before this law passed, this bitch would she had made a complaint one day about 11 different trash cans from people on the street the day after trash day, because it's like you're supposed to have your trash can put up after like 6 or whatever on the day after of trash. So like the very next morning, this bitch is like either out there like midnight, like 12:01, like I've got you fuckers, and is writing down all the addresses, and their cans are out. They've got 2 cans out, and so the code guy, works. He's a firefighter. He works as part of the fire department. It's the code enforcement, falls under firefighting services and fire stuff, right? So that's good for me because I used to be a firefighter. Still technically have considered an active volunteer firefighter, where I'm going to end up being moving to, because I have certifications from back then that help with federal grants. So it kind of helps the station when you need money and shit. So I don't care that they keep me active. But so the guy's a firefighter. I used to be a firefighter, and he's decently chill. Like I had a couple issues before with like my fence had some stuff fucked up on it. I need to fix my fence. The grass in my fucking yard grows stupid crazy, and sometimes I have back issues where it makes it hard to just go out and mow the lawn or pick up shit, or or my weed eater broke at one point. So editing and stuff, it didn't get done. So my grass was a little high. It wasn't like, when your girlfriend hasn't shaved in like 12 months kind of high. Like, it's not that bad, right? You know, you don't need the hedge trimmer to get through it. It's like a little high, right? And there's some sticks and shit in my yard because we got palm trees and fucking palm fronds. I fucking hate palm fronds. Fuck whoever made palm fronds is fucking stupid. Also, fuck my other neighbor for coming into my fucking yard. So the way my property's set up, right? This has nothing to do with counseling or therapy. This is fucking out of it, right? So let's visualize for a minute while we take a break from the Karen bitch who even the code guy apparently doesn't seem to like, and her bitching about the couple things wrong I had, because apparently our vehicles have to move in our driveway every 10 days. They can't be in the same spot for more than 10 days at a time, or it's technically a code violation, so you have to move them. It's supposed to keep people from having like disabled vehicles and shit. Unless it's in your carport or your garage, that's fine. I have like a carport area, so I can put it in one of my vehicles that's needing maintenance. I put it in a carport, right? But they have to move every 10 days. I haven't been driving that one vehicle for a few months, so it hasn't moved. I had forgot this was a code thing. So I get like this code complaint that's like, you've got lawn stuff, you got this, and like, you got 10 days to do it. Like, fuck, alright. So I had to spend time doing that, working through that. The code guy shows up, and he's chill as fuck. He's like, how come I keep having to come back here? It's been like 2 years since I've seen him. Like, and then it was like a few years before that. Like, I see him intermittently. And so we're joking around. We're sitting there just talking for like 30 minutes about just other shit, what I've been up to. Because last time he saw me, before that was like I had just gotten out of school or some other shit. Like, it was intense. And so we're just talking and shit. And he's like, hey, I just need to film your vehicle moving 3 feet forward and 3 feet back, so I can say I cleared this code thing. And I'm like, okay. And that was it. Like, that was all it was. The code guy was cool as shit. Fuck the neighbor, because if she had a real problem with it, and she knows, I've told both her and her husband, I'm a disabled veteran, I've got back issues, I can't always fucking do things at the same level most people do. Yeah, most days I look like I'm doing okay, I can lift heavy shit, move shit around, work on projects. Some days, nerve issues pick up, muscle, like I can't lift shit, I get arm weakness, fuck everything. So, if you really were a caring neighbor, instead of calling the code, just come the fuck over. It's bothering you that bad. Come the fuck over. Knock on my door. Go, hey Ken, it's Karen, because she's Karen for the moment. Hey, it's Karen. I noticed your grass is high. Did you guys need some help with that? Did you want to borrow a mower? But can we help you get your mower fixed up or something? I know you said you have back issues before. Is that what's going on? We'd love to help you cut your lawn this time around if you need some help. Or we can get you in touch with some people who do that shit for disabled veterans. Which I don't like using the title, but technically I am one. So, do you want some help with this, Ken? And I go, oh, I know I need to cut my lawn. Things just keep taking priority. We've been having family stuff and packing. And so the lawn got pushed back. It's fine. I'm sorry. I will mow my lawn and pick up my yard waste. Because the fucking palm frond. And so, instead of doing that, no, let's not just, because remember, I said the law changed. The law changed where you can't make an anonymous complaint anymore. What this bitch did was to contact a city council member, who then the city council member filed a code complaint. This is the code guy telling me this, and I'm fucking dying. I'm like being polite, but inside I'm like, wow, you're trying to fucking run around the law because you don't want to be seen as the cunt neighbor who's putting your fucking name like, oh, I gotta make sure your trash cans are up. I gotta make sure you got not a single palm frond in your yard for more than like 5 minutes. Like, no, you can't be a nice fucking neighbor and go, could you use some help? Because like we had like legitimately one of the houses next to us had these old motherfuckers living there for a while when we first moved in. Probably the first 4 or 5 years they were these old ass couple, like in their 80s and 90s. And we called it the old people's house next door. And so we would see them out, like this bitch is like 85 at the time, like mowing her yard. And I'm like, with a push mower. And I'm like, this bitch is good. Like, she's fucking more fit than I am right now at the time. And I would offer them help with shit. Hey, do you guys need help? Can we help you with anything? Because sometimes they have a lot of shit going on or whatever. That's what neighbors are supposed to do. Or the neighbor before on the other side. Hey, what's going on? You need some help with anything? Cool. He helped us out with shit occasionally. Cool. That's what's nice, right? No, that's not what this bitch does. So she tried to run around putting her name on the report. So I fucking submit my records request to the city. Right? Because it's like a FOIA, but for like a Freedom of Information Act. Florida, they call it like the Sunshine Act. And also, taking care of business. This is not an HOA. This is just code. The city of blank code enforcement. The codes for the city within the city limits, which technically we're in the city limits. So that's all this is. It's not an HOA. This is just regular city code. So, like I said, the guy is thankfully a chill guy. Even though we've had a couple run-ins occasionally. He's been pretty chill. He's given me extensions when my back's fucking messing up. And it's taken me a while to do shit. Which is great. Because he's very fucking, because like he said before, he'd rather work with someone who's wanting to get the shit done than to penalize me when I'm trying to fix things. Or trying to clean the shit up. Which I'm taking my responsibility. My yard needed cut. My palm fronds and tree branches and shit needed picked up. It wasn't like fucking Hiroshima had just fucking landed on my yard and all this shit's fucked up. No, it wasn't that bad. There's worse on our block. There's a literal crack house like 5 fucking houses up. It's like the only house in the fucking neighborhood that's like fucky for the most part. So that's that one Karen. That's that bitch. I can't wait to get the records request. If I put in there, not only do I want the information regarding, I want any and all information regarding the report, any and all emails, text messages, phone logs, or any records relating to any city council member or city employee that made the complaint, and any other related information as to whom was the city council member was in contact with regarding the complaint. I put it all in the fucking nice little my little records request. Like, I know how to, because the guy I used to work with in the Air Force, one of his like side tasks was dealing with Freedom of Information requests. So he got to deal with all the people wording shit and how to word it and how people would word it and how the documents you have to get, what's included. So I kind of wrote it to get as much information as I could. I can't wait for that email to come in, because we're either thinking of trolling them with like and it's not that I have any religious hate, or like I personally no religion, don't care if people have religion, think it can be helpful for certain people, like recovering from like addictions or whatever. Not going to shun you for that. If it works for you, that's great. Not my thing. But for her shit, we thought about putting up like holiday lights and like a pentagram on our open carport, or some other really fucked up shit like a mailbox flag that says "Hi Karen" or something like that, to because we know it's her. We'll know it's her at this point. Oh, I just had a good idea. Is I should get the fucking the record request, and when it has her name on it, I should take that fucking document. I should have it made up into like a 3x5 fucking flag, and I should just fly that flag outside my goddamn house, or hang it off of one of the trees in my fucking yard that's as close as possible to her house, so she sees her goddamn name on that flag until the day we move out. I'm so pissed at this, because it's like, just be a fucking nice person. Just be like, do you need help? Like, you can do shit like that and be like, ask them to do the shit without being a dick about it. Like, hey, do you need help? A lot of people will say, no, I've got it. And it's a brief reminder, hey, your yard needs picked up, or hey, you need to fix your fence or whatever, or hey, your dog's shitting in my lawn, whatever. Like, you could do it that way. It's not hard. Like, I don't think I'm being unreasonable here. So that's neighbor A. That's across that's like corner, like angle, diagonal, right? Like at a 45 across the street, right? That's that neighbor, right? We're moving on to neighbor number 2, right? Neighbor number 2, when they were getting their house built, they tore down, because the way our property line works is we actually own like a good third of their front yard because it's on an angle, and like where the property is like divided at what looks like the division because of where the fence is, the actual property line is like 8 feet over. But like the old neighbor had like a driveway that went to back, because he had like some apartments at the back, because he had like a long lot. He had some apartments at the back, and like we usually say, like, we own like your driveway. Like we could technically cut them off if we wanted to from that one side of the driveway because it looped. It was like it was like a U, and so where their house is now, they came onto our property to tear down this expensive ass palm tree that had been at our property since before we bought it. Nice palm tree, beautiful palm tree. I don't even fucking like palm trees. It looked nice. It added to my property value. We had someone come out and give us a fucking quote because this is where I want to bring Nick on for fucking tree law shit because this is a tree law thing where I was tempted to sue this bitch for my fucking tree because it cost a lot of money. And then that was when they built the house. That was a while ago, right? So they put up a chain link fence on the other side of our wooden fence, which fuck me, why would you do that? That looks retarded. Pardon the language. But we have this nice 6-foot privacy fence that, yes, it does need fixed. You could go to say, hey, we'll go half in on fucking finishing this side of the fence. And that way we have a nice new shared fence, all done right. We'll go in half feet. And then you can just do privacy fence around the rest of your property. Like a normal person. So put fucking chain link up against a wooden privacy fence. Not shadow box, just straight pickup. And that's how they did their shit. So they've been doing that. They've been planting shit. And so my wife and I are in the living room and I'm like asleep on the couch or whatever. And she's like, Ken, wake up. Or she's like, because we have a couple cameras that look out onto our, into our driveway and at the front door and shit because of things that have happened for safety. So my wife looking at the camera because she heard a noise that woke her up when I think the dog barked because we ended up taking a nap. It was like where we fell asleep and just slept in the living room. And there's my neighbor on my side, on the one side of me, on my right side, if you're facing my house from the street, my neighbor on my right side is in my yard across the virtual property line, right? Not the real, like way across the real property line, across what we were calling the property line, so it doesn't look stupid and it's on an angle. Like this is where the faux property line is. She's across that, cutting down this fucking, it's like a grouping of little trees, but it was really nice, right? And she's out there with a fucking handsaw, and there's like probably 15 to 20 of these little, probably inch to inch and a half tree branches, like they're coming up from the ground, from like a big stump kind of thing, and I hated fucking mowing around it, but it was nice. It gave a little bit of privacy to the property. She's on our property fucking cutting it down. I get out there, by the time I get out there, because I thought, when my wife was mentioning that she was cutting the trees, I thought she was trimming the branches, because you can trim the branches if the shit's over your property line. You're allowed to do that without it technically being illegal. You're not breaking anything. No, she was in my fucking yard. She wasn't trimming branches, because she said she didn't want the stupid little things falling off the tree, the little whatever thing, seeds or whatever. She's like, I don't want them. They're falling in my yard. And I was like, but you're in my yard. And so now, because I caught her when there was literally one of these fucking things left, I've got one of these stupid little, and I'm gonna leave it up just to piss her off. I'll cut it down before we sell the house. But I am fucking pissed because both times now she's done shit to trash my property value by taking out 2 really decent trees that would cost decent money to replace. Like, it's not like it's not a big deal. And if she had asked, like this neighbor too, hey, your tree is kind of bushy. Can you trim the side up that's against our property? Or what we think is our property line, because we apparently don't know how to get a fucking survey when we buy our house and don't know how to read it. Anyway, no, we can't do that. We're just going to come onto we're just going to go onto their property and cut whatever the fuck we want down because I don't want the things in my yard. But you have a fucking chain link fence, so that shit will just blow over anyway. Like, holy shit. Are we this fucking stupid? It's not hard. Like, why is it so hard to just come over and say, hey, can we have your permission to trim the tree? I'd have probably said yes. Or been like, Just tell me where it's a problem and I'll deal with it. So that way I know it gets done right. Because if I don't fucking do it, most shit doesn't get done right. One of my biggest issues with being a manager was learning how to delegate properly. Because God help me, every time I've delegated, people fuck things up. But no, we're gonna come and just fucking come on to my property and fuck things up. So what I've been tempted to do to piss them off, because I'm heated. I don't know if we spent like 20 minutes on this. I don't care, right? This is the shit I've been dealing with for like the last 2 months. This is one of the things I've been dealing with. And this is all fucking recent shit too. This isn't half of the shit that's gone down, right? So I'm tempted to pull out my fucking survey, go to where the fucking stake is in the ground, figure out where the property line is exactly, and in the middle of their fucking yard, plant some really stupid plants. Because it's our fucking property that is just looks like theirs. It just looks like their yard. I'm going to plant whatever the fuck I want in their front yard, technically my front yard, because it's my property. I'll come like 2 feet off the property line to give them a little bit of, room for error. And I'm going to plant whatever the fuck I want in the front yard. I'm going to plant stupid shit. I'm going to plant the ugliest fucking plants you can imagine. And I'm going to do it and make it look so dumb that the bitch is going to wish she never fucking touched my tree. Either of my trees. Like, the first tree, like, both, my wife was more livid at the time than I was. Like, she was super pissed about the tree. It's like, I think a couple grand would be to replace the tree. So it's not a cheap tree. We have the fucking estimate somewhere. It's expensive to replace. I didn't feel like dealing with court to try and get her to fucking fix the tree. To replace our tree. I should. I don't know if we're still in the statute of limitations. But now I'm gonna go on a fucking petty streak because I don't care. My goal is to be out of this place by the end of summer, hopefully. We'll fucking see. And I'm gonna fucking do what the fuck I want. Because fuck this, I'm so livid. Because fuck you for coming onto my property and ruining my property value twice now. Apparently, because their contractors were fucking cutting the tree down before we got the first one the first time. Before we had a chance to stop them. And they were like, oh, we were told to cut this down. Well, where the fuck did you get permission from? Well, we were told, did you verify it was their property or not? No. Motherfucker, look at a survey. If you're going to be doing something that looks like it's on a property line, you should probably check to see if it's actually A or B. Or get permission of the homeowner before you cut it down. Because, like, we could have said, oh, sure, cut it down. You're paying for it. But no. Oh, gee. Okay. So that Karen rant's over for now. Dear God help me. My blood pressure's a little elevated. If you haven't noticed, where the fuck is it? Why is it doing that thing? I'm trying to fucking fix it. That's weird. Okay, I think that's whatever. Okay, I don't care right now. I'll deal with it another time. So, that was my Karen rant. Welcome to the reboot. Welcome to the revival. Welcome to the CPR class of picking Ken's ass up from the grave. Hashtag bring back Kenpai. Kenpai is back. Kenpai. Say. Put a radio on full blast all day with the worst music channel possible. No, because then it's a noise ordinance complaint. You have to do, as much as I hate Reddit, there is a subreddit called malicious compliance. There's some really funny shit there. So for those who don't understand what that means, malicious compliance means you're complying with whatever the thing is, like whether your boss told you to do something, a work order, a business thing, neighborhood HOA shit. You're following the rules, but you're doing it in such a way just to piss everyone off or to piss the person off. So, let me see if I can find them. Let me see if I can find a good one. So, is the behavior of strictly following the orders of a superior, despite knowing the compliance with the orders will have an unintended or negative result? Let's see. Where's that stupid malicious? I'll see if I can find a good one. They're funny. Malicious compliance is fun. So, plant blackberry bushes if you legally can. Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, tree law. Sure, this is fucking tree law. I'm tempted to do tree law. Dead Snake says, pull out my survey. I almost thought he was about to say service rifle. No, no, I don't have one of those, allegedly. It got lost in a boating accident, along with any and all potentially 3D printed things, or oil filters, or things along that line. Also, one of the 3D printed groups I'm in, there was I think a 2A, 3D 2A or whatever. There's a guy who posted something that was like, apparently there was a listing for some illegal shit, right? It was like, I think it was a Glock switch. For those who don't know, it turns a semi-automatic Glock handgun to fully automatic fire. It's a simple fix. Like, it's stupid simple to do that. So it's not hard to add it on, right? So someone had a post on Facebook Marketplace that whoever posted it forgot to turn their location off. It shows it being posted from Washington, D.C., inside of a government building. Hello, Fed. How's it going? It's like when AliExpress offers me for oil cans and to try and buy certain things off of AliExpress. Like, no, I am not getting caught with that, you stupid fuck. I'm not that dumb. Like, I'm not buying that oil filter threaded adapter thing for my oil filter thing. Like, I'm not getting caught with that shit. No. I know where to get that shit without getting caught. So, yeah, that's fucking hilarious. But you think, and that's like, you would think that if you're gonna, like, I think it was Tim Pool. Much as I don't like Tim Pool, he was talking about that new right wing group that was marching towards the Capitol that like no one had heard about. Everyone's dressed the same. They're all wearing fucking masks, and it looks suspicious as shit. It looks like a government thing. None of these are clearly not feds. Like, no, there's no way these are feds, right? You would think if you're spending, because the feds make a lot of money. Like, you make good money in government jobs. Like, you get like a GS11, GS13. Like, doing therapy as like a GS11, or like you started like a GS11 or GS13, and you can make like 70 grand. The work sucks if you work for like the VA. You can make upwards of 100 grand at the VA eventually over time for working for government stuff. Contractors make more, but you don't get some of the cool benefits of the government stuff. But no, there's just, God, there's been some funny shit that's happened the last, few weeks. Just between shit like that, the neighbors shit just is infuriating me. I've been doing that thing where I get occasionally locked into, I focus accidentally, or my wife likes to call it my, she thinks I have autism and I don't. It's probably more my ADHD than autism anyway. But I follow certain communities, or I get involved in shit occasionally because it's funny, and I can't stream or I can't do shit because like I can chat and shit. Like, I can follow a live chat around and watch a video or listen to a video while I'm doing shit. But the effort, time to set up the stream, either mentally or physically, I just don't have it in me. Right? It, believe it or not, actually can take a bit out of you to do the streaming over time. You got to prepare and all that shit. So you got to set things up. Like today, I don't really have a topic, so I'm kind of just winging it. But that it is what it is. Next week we'll have something better, I'm hoping. But for today, like, I've been following, for those who don't know, I've been asked to cover this and asked to review whether or not this person should get surgery or whether or not they qualify for surgery. Amberlynn Reed for those of you who are familiar with who that is, um, she's originally started as a weight loss YouTuber, a long fucking time ago now, and is no longer doing that, but now tried losing weight, ended up gaining like 200 pounds during her weight loss journey. So there's obviously some criticism. She's got her own threat on the farms, obviously. But as of recent, she's been allegedly seeing a therapist. That she's supposed to do these 12 sessions with the therapist. This is because she's been denied for weight loss surgery because of her BMI, her weight, because her anesthetic, the anesthesia can be dangerous at higher weights. That's why they want you to be certain weights for surgeries like that. You have to do a lot of mental preparation if you have like eating disorders. Tracy, if you're still in the chat, can speak to this very well. Eating disorders are very complex. If you have someone who's overeating or binge eating and you give them a weight loss surgery, their diet changes forever. They can no longer eat the amount or the types of food that they used to eat. They're eating something completely different than anything they're used to. Like, they make you usually for months get ready for this ahead of time, prep you with learning to eat smaller portions, learning to eat the right types of food that your stomach can handle post-op, and she's not doing this. And her therapist, allegedly at her most recent visit, called her, because she likes to use quirky terms and stuff, said that she was an empath. She's like, my therapist thinks I'm totally an empath. And I'm like, name me one fucking therapist who would ever call someone an empath. There were so many people in the comments that were like, no, your fucking therapist did not do that. And if they did do that, they need to be fired. Like, no. The idea of empath is just, no, my head hurts to think about. Like, you don't, like, if you wanted to call anyone an empath, I would call me an empath. And I don't like to call myself anything like that. I have a really good knack for, and this was even before I became a therapist, of just being able to identify when someone is going through shit, when they're struggling, whether there's emotional issues, whether they're hiding things. I have a very good innate ability to do that. To, steal the shit from Malcolm Gladwell, from Blink, from Malcolm Gladwell. My brain is really good at noticing all the little things that are off with people and what's going on in their head and what they're feeling and what they're potentially feeling, what's potentially going on. Like when my one client, it was pretty obvious. I'm pretty sure most therapists get it, but my one client, had been assaulted the night before, came back into I came in the next morning, she's in my office talking to me, and you just can tell there's a complete difference. Sometimes it's not that obvious. Sometimes it's more subtle, and you gotta like fish it out a little. I've always been really good at that. I've had friends since middle school just confide in me, so they trust me. I apparently listen decently well, and they know I'm not going to go tell other people their shit, especially when it's like people I were friends with in like middle school talking about horrible abuse they were going through around the time. Like, I'm not going to go fucking share that with the world. Like, none of y'all know who they are. None of you know what's about. I didn't even go into details, just that it existed. So, if anyone's an empath, it's not this person. Like, it's just, there's no. People call her narcissistic. I personally think she has other disorders. I would pick borderline, maybe. I don't know if antisocial would fit. I definitely would pick borderline. I definitely think the binge. Oh, and that's one of the things. This is that shit that irritates me, right? Is one of my pet peeves of the internet is everyone thinks anything that is a certain type of behavior is automatically means they're a narcissist. That is so fucking widespread nowadays, and it irritates the ever-loving shit out of me. That it's like, oh, that means, oh, you're a narcissist. Oh, you're a narcissist. Oh, you're a narcissist. Like, bitch, no. It's just, sometimes people are occasional dicks, or they say shit, and no, stop it. I'll say, oh, that person has narcissistic personality. That person has narcissistic personality. No. There's specific criteria. It's like the one thing that's in the DSM that like every single fucking diagnosis has is because people will have these. I have criteria that I exhibit occasionally from under narcissistic personality, under autism spectrum, under other things, but it's clinically significant impact on work, like homework and other interpersonal relationships or areas of life. It's like if it's not doing that, it doesn't meet the criteria to be diagnosed. That's why you fucking have someone. There's like the whole self-diagnosis shit. Why I shit on self-diagnosis is it's okay to recognize you might have something and go get the opinion of someone who knows what the fuck they're talking about. That's okay. That's fucking fine with me. Go nuts. Go do that. Do not, like Tim from Lost Bullets, if he's here in the Discord, he constantly makes jokes about having multiple systems and dissociative identity. I was also asked to talk about, I didn't have the time, the Letitia Spelch trial of her diagnosis of DID, and which sounded really fucking stupid from the information I heard. The doctor the psychiatrist or whoever that did the diagnosis that testified in her defense of the trial apparently has no real research backing this shit up. Was calling, like, I googled the chick's name, and I googled like, a way to find information to counter someone is like, so and so debunked, or so and so challenged, or so and so criticized, to find other articles. I did that and I found a bunch of shit. Like, oh fuck, here we go. Like first or second result was like either like a Psychology Today or like a psychology related, like a really good website. There's like this article about it, and apparently this chick was in a documentary a couple of years ago. This doctor, and she was in this documentary saying, "Oh, this is a personality," when it's like the person in the article is like, "No, that's more like this type of behavior. It's not a personality. They're not shifting into a personality. Like, what the fuck are you doing?" Like, so this woman who killed her kid, not her kid, her stepkid or whatever, horribly, I might add, was trying to get the DID as an out for like, oh, I stabbed this kid. I stabbed my boyfriend's kid like so many times, but it was actually the Spanish speaking version of the Spanish speaking identity this, and then I was felt threatened because of it. Like, there was some weird shit with that. I didn't follow that trial closely. For those of you who were in the Discord too, if you're not in the Discord, join on Locals. $5 a month. The link's at the top. It's pinned at the top. It should still be. If it's not, I'll fucking fix it. But $5 a month to get in the Discord. If you're hitting hard times and you can't afford the $5, it will generally just be okay with you sticking around. It's kind of an honor system because I don't have it automated, because my fucking grouping is not that big. I'm at like just shy of 2,200 subscribers right now. I'm like just shy of 2,200 subscribers. 4, 8, 12, 15, 20. I've almost quintupled the amount of subscribers I've had since all the shit went down, since I lost my job a couple of years ago. I haven't grown as fast or as much as I would like, but I don't care. It's not about the income's nice, the it's nice, but it's not about that. It's about having fun, talking about what I like to do, which is mental health, psychology, stuff like that. So, would I do this for a living, like Rakita does or other people do? Sure, I would love to do that. It's great. It's cool to just sit. If I did that, I would probably also. I am all over the place tonight. I totally don't have ADHD. I'm sure Tracy's looking, going, "Hey Ken, your ADHD traits are popping out because like you can't stay focused on a goddamn thing right now." I took my meds. I did take my meds before this stream, but it's still oh boy, it's still what's my stupid? I'm trying to log in because I am going to bring up. I have someone working on a very nice VTuber avatar for me. So the days of this little thing on the screen here are winding down. They'll be probably for like if I'm a guest somewhere, but I'm having someone, and I've been trying to figure out how to pay them because they won't take my money. I've been like, how much do you want me to fucking pay you? And he's like, don't. I don't want money. And I'm like, tell me how much money. Like, just tell me how much it is because I don't want to. It's a lot of fucking work. Or like, it's like, no, I'm doing it because I'm trying to challenge myself or learn the program. I'm like, okay, like, but if you change your mind, just fucking tell me. Like, I don't want to like take all this hard work. Like, this shit is not easy to do. Like, um, with the what do you call it? Doing the coding or the design and shit. It's a lot of work. I don't want to do that for like free. Um, let's see. I gotta get into my Discord, which I need to do my stupid two-factor so I can get back in. Um, and if your VTuber avatar doesn't have giant knockers, I'm out. I will talk to my guy and see if he can get me an alternative one with knockers. Let me pull up one of these. I gotta skim through all my messages here because there was a whole like multi-page argument about whether a house could be X temperature without AC that far north. No joke, this is a thing. What the fuck is it? Nope, that's not it. Oh, this looks some cool shit, but I couldn't do this without like spending many hours to like learn this shit. I am not this good. I'm just being done in Maya, which is a very well known and professional rendering software. Let's try to pull this link up here. Can I open it? Motherfucker. Or how to copy links, Ken. Jesus. There we go. Try that. Now we can. Oh, it downloaded. All right, so let's pull this bitch up because this looks cool as fuck. All right, there's just one, and I don't think there's anything in this video that is doxy. I want a doxy one. Let's double check. Okay, so this is just, I guess, part of the process that's being done to make my beautiful avatar. So let's load this up. Not the porn video. Okay, here we go. So this is the video, right? This is the avatar. They took a 2D, like, look. They took a 2D image and have molded it into a fucking face. Like, holy shit, that's cool. I am not that good. We do need the boobs. I'm okay with the boob. But, yeah, like, they took it 2D and pushed that bitch out. It's not done yet. It still needs work. That's fine. I told them there's no timeline on it when you have time to do it. But eventually, this will be how I do it. He'll talk and all that stuff too. Like, you're becoming a real boy. You damn straight. Say, it's gonna look pretty cool. It looks like a creepy ventriloquist dummy. I'm not. I'm agreeing with you on that a little bit. I think there's a couple other pictures. Is this one? Holy shit, that looks weird. Yeah, like some of this shit is just really cool. Here's another video. We're all over the fucking map with topics today. Like we're done. We have no. We're like a bunch of 8-year-olds that you just gave the keys to the fucking, like, the computer, unlimited access, video games, alcohol, which 8-year-olds and alcohol is completely fine. No one's gonna criticize you on that. Just you gotta limit the intake, not too much. Like this is this one, like showing how it's being sculpted and shit. Like this is gonna look cool as fuck once it's finally done. I can't wait. I can't wait for this. This is gonna be sweet because I've wanted, like, as much as I don't want to be like a VTuber and like do like the female voice change and suit myself out, which by the way, I totally would fucking do that for the money. I do not have that much self-respect that I would happily do that shit to make money. I do not have that much. Like, one of the most important lessons I learned in my life, thank you, Mom, is $20 is $20. Thank you, Mom. I love that life lesson. Do anything for $20. So you just got to make sure you do it right. But like, don't make sure you're getting good value. $20 is still $20. So I also have, because I've been trying, like, for example, I've been trying to move and stuff. Like, I've been working on packing my house and shit. In the process of that, I've got 3 3D printers right now. I've got an Ender 3 V2, an Ender 5 Pro, and a Voxel Aquila that has an Ender Extender 400 XL kit on it. So it's got like a 40 centimeter cubed fucking print volume. And it's fucking massive. And none of them are working right now because the Ender 3 I did a bunch of mods to. I bought, like, last year during Prime Day, I bought like a bunch of shit and did like pay in like a few months because I bought the printer, I bought mods for my other printer, so I was gonna have 2 printers. I was gonna do print fasting and shit, and I was gonna do fast printing and some other cool shit on my one. I was gonna take the second printer I was buying, I was gonna turn it into a Core XY printer and do like really cool prints with it and shit. Have not had a chance to get around to that, do any of that stuff. My one printer needs to finish being put back together. I need to adjust some offsets in the firmware and fix a couple other minor things. My Ender 5 needs like the fucking bed because it's a cantilever bed. It doesn't not the Pro won't do a bed leveling right. I just put a brand new. This was before I put a brand new board in. A nice new board in. I'm hoping will work, but I've read there's some issues with the board in the Probe I use, which I wish I'd fucking known beforehand, so I gotta make firmware for that. And then the 400 XL has firmware on it. It's set up, but it's set up to print with the stock print volume. It's not set up for fucking the XL mod. And I bought this fucking printer with like it's got like a $200 and something upgrade kit on it, right? To do this upgrade. So it takes there's normally like a 22 centimeter by 22 centimeter by 25 centimeter build volume, and it turns that bitch into 40 centimeters cube. And this person was, I guess, given that, and they were given this printer. They couldn't figure out they didn't know what was wrong with it to fix it. And they put it up on Facebook. $50. I fucking saw that bitch and jumped on it. I told my wife, I was like, this is like a $400 printer with all the shit that's here. Like, because, for example, the kit to do the upgrade is almost $300. Right? I had one piece missing that was part of the kit. That I got a piece of glass to replace the build plate. Whatever. I needed the belt and I needed the belt tensioner. That was like it. It was all the fucking things wrong with it. I've basically tested it all except printing. It moves and shit. Like, it moves on all axes. It heats up. I just need to get the firmware working so I could test the full build volume because I want to print something fucking big. Like, I've got a fucking printer that can print 40 centimeters is what? Like almost 16 inches each dimension. Right? I can print something that's like 16 inches cube. It's fucking big. I want to print that. I want to use that fucking volume. I'll print something fucking stupid. I was tempted to, at some point, print out a couple fucking couches and autograph them and just fucking give them to people for fun and just mail them to people. So, but I've been wanting to work on my printers and I've had ups and downs with my mental health, some depressive feelings, some, not so depressive feelings. I'm good, I'm bad. And it's just sometimes the 3D printing shit fucking irritates me. Compiling the firmware, it's not working. Something else, the fucking bug. Holy shit. I love the 3D printing because it's so therapeutic. When I had my 3D printer at the office, and the kids would love watching it print and shit, fucking amazing. A beautiful therapeutic tool. At home, trying to fucking upgrade it and fix it and shit, oh my god, stressed. Like, I just want to print a fucking Cali Cat and a fucking Benchy, and they come out okay. And I want to print at slightly faster speeds with slightly better results. I want to be able to bridge over a big ass open gap of like 80 centimeters with the new fans I put on. Like, am I asking for so much, God? Tracy's like, Ken is a beautiful therapeutic tool. If you gave me to a client and said, here's your therapeutic tool, many people would run away scared if you weren't giving them the instruction manual to go with it. Like, how the fuck do I use this Ken thing? Like, I am a unique therapist. Also, I have really, really good news. So this is what we're gonna do this now, right? This was probably some of the best news I have gotten in the last couple months. And I damn near cried when I got this, right? Ken is hungry for attention. No, I believe it or not, I don't like attention. Like, also for those of you who are Nick's locals, that still life guy is like really fucking creepy stalking me. Like I'll post, like if I'm on Nick's show or I'm in the locals, I'll start posting like these Rickroll memes and shit he's made of me. And I don't fucking understand why. But he's been doing it. It's been freaking me out a little bit. But no, like I don't like attention generally. Like I just like to do my thing and have fun. Like hanging out with Nick and shit, doing the thing is fun. Hanging out with you guys, doing cool shit, fun. Say, it's just so fucking. Oh, but no, this was what was it? This is 10 days ago. I got this. I got a text message out of the blue, from a client of mine at the last place I worked for, not the one I was fired from, but the last place I worked for. And this was a client that had gone from literally almost committing suicide while they were with us to wanting to do better and trying to find reasons to live when they left. Should never have been with us. My boss made a poor decision bringing them here, but I was glad they did. In hindsight, I was able to get through, and that's what mattered. But the client reached out to me and was like, "Hey, Mr. Ken, this is so and so from the place, and want to thank me for all the help. That they're in a better place now. That they they had their stuff. They did the treatments they were doing. There was new therapists now. There's for example, they said, I don't think it's an exaggeration to say you've helped me more than anyone else ever has." And that just touched me to the fucking core. Like, I'm trying not to cry right now. It was so touching. Tracy, this is that client I asked for your consult on. I couldn't fucking believe it. Because I had been wanting to follow up and touch base because it had been so long since I heard from the client. And just to make sure they're good, and obviously they're not dead because they were suicidal at one point. Like, legitimately, like, plan, tools, we're going to pull it off. We're probably going to get damn close to pulling it off successfully because they're very intelligent. It's probably a genius level IQ kid, if I had to guess, for their age. They mentioned they still think of their time. We're going to spend almost a year, still think of their time there. And, they're still struggling a bit. There's still things to work on. They're still trying to challenge themselves. And but they're definitely in a better place than they were. And they were appreciative of the help I gave. And like that message right there is one of the best things. Like, there's no paycheck in the world you can give me that will make me feel better than reading those text messages I did back and forth. Obviously, I can't read them verbatim. I can't go into too much of the detail. But those, you could give me $1 million and I wouldn't fucking care. I would rather have this text message chain. I would rather talk and follow up and see that this kid's doing good. That they're so much better off than they were. that they're in a safer environment than they were. Thank God, because they should not have been with the person they were with because of the allegations, but somehow they were, and it it's great. Like this is, like there's a like you'll hear it in the fire service, like pride is our pay, the love for the job, liking what you do, being able to give back, help people, give to the community. Like this is the shit I love. Maybe that's a bit self-centered. Maybe that's conceited to feel this good because of that. To because I don't generally like give myself credit. Like I will tell my clients all the time, even when they're thanking me for all the work that we've done. I'm like, I didn't do shit. You're the one who's going through it. You're the one who's struggling. You're the one who's suffering. You're the one who's making the steps to change. You're the one who's willing to do the hard work. Because I'm sure, Tracy, you have clients you've seen who will do the bare minimum, and the people who will put in so much, it's wearing their, wearing them ragged because they want the change, they want the improvement. And to get these kind of messages, to have clients terminate therapy, and it's good, and they're doing great afterwards, means I did my job right at the time I had them with me. And that's what matters so much with a good therapist. Picking a good therapist, it's so fucking important. If you're going to eventually tell them your deepest darkness, right? Or close to, you should at least have a friend or a family member you can share your deepest darkness with. That you can call at 3 a.m. and say, I'm thinking of ending my life. I need to talk to someone. And they will drop whatever it is. They will wake the fuck up immediately. And they'll spend 6 hours on the phone with you. They'll call off work. They'll take you to the hospital. They'll take you to a clinic. You need that person. My friend helped me from 1,000 miles away when I was going through that, when I was in the military. And I'm grateful for it because now I'm still here. My wife helped me through it. I'm still here. You should at least have that, even if you don't trust a therapist with everything. Because it's the trust you got to earn. It's a stranger. We're new. Who the fuck is this guy? Who the fuck is this woman? Why should I tell you anything? You're absolutely right. Here's why. And I have to sell myself effectively. Here's why we could work together to help. Here's why opening up or why talking about this is beneficial to you, and why it's worth spending your time and money here. And it's great to be able to do that with people. So I get this a lot whenever I'm in comment sections on YouTube or I'm in chats everywhere. How do you find a good therapist? What do you do for a good therapist? How do you, I'm with this therapist and I don't know if I like them. You can take your therapist for a test drive. Not like that, you thick fucks in the chat. I'm sure one of you thought it. No, bad. Sit down. Go stand in the corner. You can take a therapist for a test drive. Get in touch, whether through insurance or not. Schedule your intake, because your intake's normally going to suck. It's boring. There's some confidentiality documents. Here's some other things. Sign them. With me as the counselor, I'm introducing myself. You tell me a little bit about you. Blah, 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 blah. The first session kind of is like meh. It's like a wash by the time. Sometimes you get a lot in the first session, but not. But you'll get a lot in that second or third session. Go to that second or third session and talk to them and say, find an issue that's really important, something that's on your mind, something that's really hard hitting that you want to work on right now, that's really bothering you, that you can feel yourself comfortable getting a little vulnerable with, even though it's a stranger. You might not normally want to share this with them, even though they literally can't tell anybody, or they could lose their license. Even with that, people are still hesitant, understandable, and share and get the feedback and listen to what they have to say. Because we're not advice givers. How many times people ask me for advice? It's not my job. My job is to help you give yourself advice, help you process the information. You have a thought. What should I do? Okay, well, what should you do? I don't know. Okay, let's work through it. What's the problem? What are you trying to, what happened? What's your first thought of doing? Like, If this is the problem with the automatic thing you really think you want to do, okay, I want to do this. It's a really good idea to do that, because that sounds maybe not the best idea given the situation. Oh, okay, that makes some sense. Now let's go back and try it again. What other ways can we do it? And walk through it. That's kind of how I'll do things. I'm not really a therapist that likes to do can you tell me, how does that make you feel for an hour? That shit irritates me because it's not interactive. It's not engaging. People hate those kind of therapists. Kids especially hate those kind of therapists. Parents, if you're listening and your kid is going to therapy and telling you that, consistently telling you that I'm not getting anything out of this therapy, that doesn't mean they're trying to dodge the therapy. Listen to what they have to say. And, well, what do you mean you're not getting anything out of it? Well, Mr. Smith just tells me, just has me talk and just, how do you make you feel? And I tell him how I feel, but I don't get any, I don't know what to do at the end. I still kind of feel shitty or crappy, and I don't know what to do. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know how to feel better. Okay, then maybe Mr. Smith is not the right therapist for your kid. Maybe you need a therapist like me, or someone who's like, okay, Johnny, now let's try this therapist. Okay, Johnny, when you have those feelings, what do? Do this. Okay, why do you do that? Well, does it actually make you feel better? No. Well, what, have you tried this? No. Well, let's try that. Okay, okay, I'm open to that. It kind of feels better. Let me think about this way. Let's look at it this way. And when you do that and you get them thinking, when you get the kid thinking and processing and learning the tools so they don't need to come to therapy all the time, eventually they can cease therapy, because the goal from the day you start therapy is to get you out of therapy eventually, whether it's 6 days, 6 months, or 6 years. Like, whatever it takes to get you to where you need to be. That's how long it takes. I'm not trying to rush you. We'll take it at a time, but I don't want you to be dependent on therapy. Like, if I go to therapy at the VA and something that was my primary goal is fixed, they're going to say, well, do you have anything else you want to work on? Because they need to change the goal, because you can't really work on something that's fixed. So, especially with kids, get feedback. If you're going to send your kids to therapy, don't try and walk around confidentiality. I know a lot of parents want to. You want to know what your kid's saying in therapy. You want to know what's going on. Depending on the therapist or how it's set up or what kind of office it is or how the documentation's done, some therapists will share a little bit more than just, oh, it was a good session, with what happened in session. And I do not like that. I want my client, whether they're 5, 9, 13, 17, to have, or 50, to have basically the same levels of confidentiality, because they need to be able to come to me and say, X is going on. Even if they are not ready to share it with you, it's not a slam on you. It's not an insult to you. It's, I don't know how to approach it. Like, I had a kid when I was in the private practice. Him and his dad were on a specific type of sports team. I think it was like lacrosse or something, right? The dad coached and the son played, but the son was also on like other teams and shit, like other sports teams. It was like a lot of shit. And he had no like me time, is what it broke down to. He's like, I feel overwhelmed. I don't have time for me. And like, he was so scared to like tell his dad that. He wasn't sure how to do it. So we talked it through several sessions and we role played it, and then we did a family session. Like, I role played with him acting as his dad, because I, he'd interacted with his dad. His dad was initially resistant to the whole idea of therapy. And, I pushed back. I said, I said things that might seem hurtful. Like, why would you do this to me, son? I love lacrosse. Why would you break my heart like that? And it sounds really fucked up to say. It's a role play, and it's the therapeutic environment. So if there's issues, I can stop it and deal with it. But that gives the kid ideas on how to respond. And, it's like dreams. Dreams give you it's a way to practice shit for real life that you can't necessarily safely do because of the limitations of uh, the human body, physics, and shit like that. So that kid was able to talk to his dad. Cool. Like, and they had a really good conversation. And even though it was tense a little bit, like the dad wasn't sure at first, like why this was an issue. Like, why is this a big deal? If you don't want to play, you don't want to play. But the kid didn't get that impression. There was a mismatch of communication. So if your kid's not coming to you, it's not that they don't want to talk to you. They may not feel they can. That's very common. There's an issue with communication. Kids are afraid of talking to their parents. They're afraid of getting in trouble. One of my favorite things, and I get shit on for this, one of my favorite ideas that I've seen work really well is, if your kid comes to you and says, I need an amnesty. I've got to talk. I need an amnesty hour. I need to tell you this really fucked up, important thing that's going on because I need to fix it now before I get hurt or injured or killed or get into something I really shouldn't. And maybe they stole something. Maybe they broke something. Maybe they experimented with drugs. Maybe they had sex. They were kind of young and weren't ready. Yeah, or maybe something forceful-ish happened or wasn't clear the lines of consent. But they're afraid because they're young, they're kids. They were told, for example, using sex, like, don't have sex until you're married, or don't have sex without this, or don't do it. And like, if your kid comes to you and says, Mom and Dad, I had sex, with no condom used, immediately the parents are going to jump to conclusions. But there's not enough. They didn't give the time for the rest of the information to fill in. That's where parents got to take a step back, really process it. And when you have that ability for a kid to come and say anything, like them to say, I shot someone, and you to not get angry in the moment, and you to be supportive. Well, maybe they did shoot someone, but maybe it was to protect their life. You can't jump to conclusions. You got to be like one of the perfect examples of this, or a good relationship with a parent and a child is, I love this example because it's the funniest thing looking back. But as a parent, it's scary because you don't know what to do. And I told them, I'm like, you handle this probably as best as any parent could without training on it. They're like, shit, how old was this kid? Like 8 or 9-year-old girl, daughter, right? Have a tablet or phone, or like, I think they were on a tablet or phone or something. And the mom had seen them on like a lesbian porn site. And the mom was like, I'm going to take the tablet. You're not in trouble. But I want to see if we can schedule a session with Mr. Ken soon. Okay? And like calmly did it, didn't freak out, didn't, because the kid's young. Like, kids young on sites like that, like, holy shit, a lot of flags tend to go up. Parents freak out. And it can be easily explained. You have to give it a chance to be explained. So by being supportive, by not freaking out, by not getting irrational, contacting me, I was my day off, I think, or something. I was like, sure, let's do a session. I'm open. I can be available. We did it virtually. And I was like, I could be available at X time. Let's talk about it or whatever. Or like, I've got an open, I think, or maybe it was like I was at work and I was like, I have an opening today. Let's talk about what happened. And we talked about it. Talked with the kid. So what happened? Mom told me this. And like, like I prefaced, not in trouble, just trying to learn, trying to figure out what's going on, trying to figure out what we know. And lay the groundwork, what the kid was doing, made sure there was no abuse, made sure there was no concerning or dangerous activity, made sure nothing happened, all in ways that don't stigmatize it, was supportive. We went through basic things, anatomy, physiology, what's what, because that's what they were curious about. The mom okayed it, and it was all good. And they went great after that. It was a curiosity thing, because the mom was like ready to support their kid. Like, their kid's like possibly gay, and they're like, I'm not like freaking out to me, like, I've got no problem with gay people. I just want to support her, and I'm like, take a breath. We haven't done anything yet. This is before the session. I'm like, it's okay, mom. We'll find out what's going on. I have a good relationship with your kid. We have good rapport. They'll probably tell me what the hell happened because they trust me, and I'll get their permission to see how much I can share with you or what they're okay with me sharing. And you would think, well, wouldn't you share everything with the mom? Well, is the kid going to share anything with me if I'm just going to go blurt everything out to mom? Probably not. So I need to respect the kid's privacy and the kid's boundaries. They matter just as much if you want to be able to get the trust and respect. So information, we exchange information. We do a good therapy session. I pull up, I don't remember if it was the same session or the next session. We did like I pulled up some infographics, some like slides, a couple things to explain more things in depth, or the things that were like maybe not properly explained before. Problem solved. And then we moved on to another topic like the week after. Wasn't a big deal. But there are so many ways that situation could have been blown out of proportion for this like 9-year-old kid. Like parents freak out, pull away all their electronics for simple curiosity. Now the kids are going to be a little pissed and going to fight back and push back and be misbehaved because you took away all their electronics. You never gave them a chance to explain everything. That's just one of many things that could have happened. And, like I had the one client who, like right on this cusp of being a teenager, there was some stuff that happened that was kind of risky-ish. Mom and dad freaked the fuck out, pulled away all the social media, all the phones, all the tab, like no access. And in doing so, all during COVID, pushed the kid into depression, basically, and into other issues, and was close to like running away. And, being able to figure out what happened, because the kid told me basically everything that happened, all the things that were necessary detail-wise, and what their actual involvement was. Eventually was able to share, they were able to share parts of it with mom or dad. There was different levels of sharing they did. But we worked on a plan to get the phone back, to get the trust back. They didn't feel a need to, like, the parents were communicating so well with the kid, they didn't feel a need to monitor the communications, like they weren't spying on them, because they put the trust in their kid because I told them, she's doing really well with me. We've discussed the safety issues, we've discussed the concerns. Here's why we don't do this. And if you're going to be on these things and there's people adding you, like talking to parents and doing all that, just to make sure it's on the up and up, because you're still a kid. There are things that people might say that you don't understand or know how to interpret, or what those things mean, because you're not there yet. You're pretty smart, but you're not there yet. I said the kid's good. I think, if it was me, I think the kid can be trusted. I don't think you'll need to do it. The kid was very open, would come to mom, and all this great communication and stuff was happening. Like, I was happy with how well this went. And then this is all around the time I lost my job. The therapist they transferred this family to, like immediately, like in the first session, we had worked so hard to get the kid a phone back. The kid had got a phone for Christmas and shit. And like all this good trust building was done. And like the first session or so, like therapist like, well, why did you have fun? Take your phone away. Like, motherfucker, you just did all this work. In that one action, you were fucking like, I don't know which therapist it was. I swear to God, if I know who it is, if I think it is, you're fucking stupid. This was a dumb decision. Why would you do that when you have a parent and a child? Parents and a child actually communicating and have trust, and there's no concerns because they're actually behaving. Why the fuck would you do that? Take care of business. Well, how did the child even have access to look up pornography in the first place? The parents don't put blocks on phones and tablets they gave her. I mean, you can put every block you want on that kind of shit. It still can be got around. I was getting, like, legitimately in middle and high school, the IT guys for the school district I went to, were seeing me get, like, I would be in like whatever computer classes or whatever on the computers done with my work, getting around all their fucking blocks and shit. And they would be like, can you show us how you did that? We don't know how to fix. Like, there's no way you can perfectly fix everything. And even so, it was more of a curiosity thing that kid, in that example, that kid, it was like, had heard the term, didn't really know what it meant, so they looked it up. And so one of the first things they find when you look it up, click on, you're going to find porn generally. Even with safe search and shit, like, you still can find it. Even so. Like, and B, depending on the kid's age, maturity level, and stuff like that, the locks can sometimes be more harmful than helpful because it sends a message that you don't trust the kid. Obviously, for younger children, that's important, like 5-ish and up till a certain age, where they transition to not needing those because they're gonna listen and follow instructions, and not do that without, like having your kid go, hey, come to you and say, hey, I know I wasn't supposed to, but I kind of was curious. I had looked at some porn, and I have questions. And a very healthy way to deal with that, not to freak out, would be, cool, what's your question? What do you know? What's going to help doing? And just as calmly as I said it, that's it. You can do that. You can do anything. You can be a great fucking parent, right? You cannot freak out because something scares you. If your kid's like alive in front of you, then they're not bleeding to death. You can take a few minutes to just listen and process it. So, that isn't the kid's fault for being curious. It's the parent's fault. So here's the thing: is you are like, this is something I run into. Is that's assuming a perfect world with perfect things. Like, in a perfect world with perfect things, you put in blocks, you put the shit up. There's no way to get around it, right? My kid's phone has blocks on it. Cool. Can't get the thing. But new websites come out. They're not on the block list. The filters didn't get an update. Okay, shit gets through. Oops. No one's fault, right? Because parents, may not be able to update it because it's automatically pushed. The company fucked up. Like, there's a billion different things that can happen before these things still occur. What matters is not, because the problem is, if we're focused on assigning blame and assigning shit like that, we're not focusing on what the actual issue. Like, to segue back to like the Amberlynn Reed stuff. She was supposed to, which doesn't make sense for getting a major weight loss surgery. She was supposedly supposed to lose 1 pound a week for a month. So her whole weight loss goal for a month was 4 pounds. She weighed like 520 pounds, like 525 pounds, or 530. She's supposed to lose 4 pounds. Lost 3 in a month, right? And this is the thing that was such a kicker to me. And this to me showed that there's severe issues going on because they were worried about the weight of their clothing and the weight of their earrings contributing to the weight that's going on the scale. And I posted a comment like on the video, like, if you're worried about how much your clothes and earrings weigh when you go to step on that scale, you are focusing on the wrong problem. That is the wrong problem to be focusing on. Because if that's the case, you probably know you're not making the goal. Okay, sometimes we don't make the goals. But B, don't allow yourself to not hold yourself accountable by saying, oh, my earrings or my dress or my pants or my slacks, they were really heavy, so it kind of made my weight not look like I lost as much. No. If you're really concerned, wear the exact same, like, have the appointment at a certain time, have a bowel movement before, urinate, go, wear the same exact thing every time. That way you hold yourself accountable. There's no way to place blame elsewhere. If you have your haircut, have your haircut the exact same way. Like, make sure there's no way for you to give yourself an out for accountability, because that's so important on something like that. So when realistically, to get the surgery, you should be needing to lose like 40 to 80 pounds minimum from what I've seen for weight loss surgery. Like, you gotta show you can lose the weight, show you can stick to the diet, and they're struggling. And it's because they cannot hold themselves accountable. There's such a huge lack of accountability for this person. So going back to this situation with this family, like taking care of businesses right here. Like, I'm a proponent of not giving phones to kids. Okay, it depends. What age are they? How mature are they? How intelligent are they? Because some kids can be immature but intelligent, or vice versa. Um, Intelligent but somewhat immature kids are like kids who have ADHD, who are smart, will fuck off in class and be bored, or like, I've got a nephew who's smart. He's a smart kid. His reading level's not up to par, but it's because the stuff's boring to him. He can't. There's no interest in reading it. Like, so he just doesn't read it. So of course his reading level's gonna look bad. So you got to find ways to engage. If you're using the tool, so the phone is a tool, right? The phone is a tool like any single toy you buy for your kid can be a tool. Any kind of thing you buy to help with behaviors is a tool. Ways we do things are tools. Chore lists are tools. Routines are tools. Everything is a tool. It's how you use the tool, whether it will be effective for your family, your child, or your situation. Some parents will give their kids phones and tablets, and they will let those babysit their children effectively. They have unlimited time on it. And for those specific kids, it's not healthy because they don't know how to manage their time. They're not doing the things they're supposed to do around the house. They're not picking up after themselves. They're not cleaning their bedroom. They're not doing the minimum that's asked of them because they're still focused on the tablets and the phone. In that case, it's a problem. Now, if you have a situation where the kid have to earn the tablet time, so as long as they do so, like they get ready in the morning, they make their bed, when they get home, they've earned their 2 hours of tablet time after homework's done. They do it. They go a little bit longer because you didn't check on it. They still did their chores. They still got ready for bed on time. They've earned it. They show they can handle that responsibility. Some kids are not able to handle that responsibility yet. Some kids are more mature younger. Some kids don't mature as young. Have like an eye-opening thing for me was when I was at the one place, having two kids that were the exact same age. One was a male, one was a female. But just the levels of maturity and intelligence was so different. And it was just like obvious. Like, this happens. Like, kids mature different, right? Like, but just seeing it in person, like right next to one another, because I had them sitting next to each other. And we were talking about something. And I was just like, holy crap. And it was a really eye-opening thing for me because it made me realize how much more attention I need to put to that piece of it when I'm doing this stuff. When I'm talking about school, when I'm talking about tools, I'm talking about family dynamics. Because if you don't focus on that, then the tool I give family A will not work for family B because the child's not mature enough, or the child's not intelligent enough, or doesn't have that level of thinking cognitively to do what I'm asking. So it's going to fail, and I'm setting them up for failure. And that's my fault as the therapist, not their fault because they couldn't do it, right? So if that's the problem, then I failed the family, not the kid failed, not the parents failed. I failed because I gave them the wrong tool for their situation. You can absolutely give kids phones. You can absolutely give kids tablets at age 5, at age 6, at age 7. And in some dynamics, you set it up right, it works perfectly or damn near flawlessly. I had a kid when I was working at the agency where I went to people's homes. This was like one of the first things I worked, like one of the first places I worked. And we did therapy in home with kids, basically, or families. This kid was on the autism spectrum, and kid was fucking obsessed with the tablet. This kid's like 8 years old and is able to like figure out phone passwords and computer passwords and how to get past shit, and is like able to observe from a distance without getting caught all the time. So no matter what the family did, because this is a foster family, could not figure out how to like deal with it. They would take the kid's tablet away, and the kid would lose his shit and would start fucking misbehaving, cry, scream. So what ends up happening is you don't want to hear the fucking screaming. You give the kid a tablet because it's just easier than dealing with it. So what we did was we picked a day and we said we're going to fresh start it. We're going to wipe the slate clean. And starting a day, we're doing things differently. Because for that age, it's kind of easy to do. Even with someone on the autism spectrum, because you can still explain it and show and show them. And it's not that they're unintelligent. Maybe they process information differently. Maybe they don't understand certain thing or a certain way. So you make it work for them. So we told this kid, starting on this day, we just don't get the tablet automatically. We got to earn it, right? Just like if you go to a job, you earn money to be able to pay for stuff. You got to earn your time on your tablet. And we do that by doing things we're supposed to, like any chores, like getting up and getting ready in the morning, earned a certain amount of points or a certain amount of time on the tablet, right? So if they got up, got ready, put their socks on, put their shoes on by a certain time, that was 15 or 20 minutes. And then if they did this before, this ready, they got their stuff ready for school, there's another so many minutes added. And then when they got home from school, their homework was done, it gave them so many minutes, and then they could use those minutes all that day, or they could save some for another day. There was a little bit of banking allowed. It depended on the family dynamic at the time. But that kid who was legitimately would freak out and scream if you took his tablet away shifted to that new system pretty quickly. I was more shocked than anyone that it worked because I was like, fuck, this is going to be hard. I'm sitting there like the day that week and I told the family, like I tell all my families or clients I work with, something's going on. If it's not working, call me, text me, I'll answer. I'm on my phone like a 15-year-old girl when I'm not working or I'm not in therapy because I'm a computer person. I like phones. I like technology. Fuck it. So message me, call me. I don't care. So it's like the first day or two and I'm like following up. I'm like, how's everything going? Expecting this really bad response. And it's like, oh, he's doing well. He's taken to it pretty good. And, we've had a few hiccups here, but other than that, it's going well. I was like, holy shit, it worked. I was like, no way this could work this flawlessly. Like, you could not fucking, like, I should have played the lottery that fucking day because there's no way that works that good. I was so happy. I was like, fuck, well, this is working great. And it continued to work great. And just working with the kid, getting him to listen, like, it was great. And then fucking COVID happened. And so, like, everything went virtual. And, like, that getting an 8-year-old kid on the spectrum to fucking stare at me for an hour on a screen, So it went from individual therapy to family therapy, teaching the parents the tools they need, because I can teach more in an hour to the parent, who I can speak to faster, give more complex information, and they can apply it during the week than I could do to the kid. And as much as I didn't, and I'd still check out on the kid, like, hey, how's it going? Speak to him real quick, cool, go have fun. And it was much easier to work with the parents for an hour on a screen than to deal with the kid. I don't like staring at the screen for an hour. If I'm not focused, if it's a boring session, it's sometimes easy for your mouse to drift over, new tab, split the window, and start Googling shit. I've had to like force myself to not do that before. Because it's like, or there's tech issues or something, like, fuck me, like, I just want this session, like, they can get boring. I hate virtual therapy. I fucking hate virtual therapy. I had a client who was agoraphobic, who didn't like leaving the house, who I did virtual therapy with. And that's fine. We had good sessions. We did well. He got really good about leaving the house and doing things. And it was great. Made good improvements. That's different. If I can get you in seat, I would rather have you in seat, or fuck, I will come to your house. Because I would rather be able to sit there, look you in the eye, see if you're like shaking or like bouncing your foot, or your body language is fucking off, or you're sweating, even though it's cold as shit now, or you look nervous. I can't tell that shit as easy on the fucking computer screen. And all that shit's important. Because it lets me, if I don't notice that on the screen, then it makes me not as like in touch with my client. And versus in person, if I'm in tune to that, I can go, hey, is everything okay? If this is too much to talk about, we don't have to talk about this. This is your time. Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed. Can we talk about something else? Cool. Maybe I don't pick up on that because they're not saying it, but it's their body. It's their body language. I'm only seeing their face or their face in their head or however the fuck they have their camera set up. I would miss that. Maybe they're just fidgeting with something in their hands and they're doing it way more than normal for a session. Like shit like that. You can pick up on. Kids, fucking virtual therapy suck. Unless they're like 10 to 12 and like good maturity and good intelligence, virtual therapy sucks, kid. Sorry. I can't, I hate it. I fucking hate it. But I would rather have you in seat because it's so much better. so much more I can do. So sorry. Taking care of it is a Ken 1, temper tantrum 0. Legitimately, because it's a foster family, you know, they were wanting to make things work. They were trying to help the kid. It's a lot of stress on the family. They had more than one kid. They had like several kids. A couple more of them were fosters too. But this kid just being on spectrum, other issues going on too. To have him not just be obsessed with the tablet, but be able to bypass security locks, passwords, TV passwords and shit. What are you going to do if you don't find a way to rein that in? Because he's smart enough. This 8-year-old smart enough. He's like intelligent as like a 12-year-old as far as the technology, but his behavior is like a 4-year-old when it comes to handling not being able to play on it. You know, you can have an intelligence 4 years older than his ass, but a behavior like 4 years younger, and it's stressful because he's like, how the fuck do I manage it? He's 8, and he's like a 4-year-old, and it's like, what do I do? There's times I don't fucking know either. I'm not God. I'm not a fucking magician. I've had to like go home and research shit. Like, I don't have an answer for you. I will find you one because I legitimately don't have an answer. It's complex. It's difficult. I can give you suggestions or things that pop into my head. These are in no way things I've read in the book or valid, but shit, I'm thinking using other techniques I can apply here. Might work. Try this out. I'll get back to you. Right? I'll look up shit. Maybe find something. Maybe don't. We make shit work. But just instead, maybe I should rethink my stance on therapist office. Hey, look, if you're talking about that in relation to that, then I get the joke. Obviously, it wasn't that kind of role play before anyone says anything stupid. Like, also, I never mentioned it earlier. For those who are in the Discord, you saw that a certain someone's YouTube channel got taken down again. Oh no. That's so sad. Like, I don't like that shit. I don't like deplatforming. But they knew they were violating TOS and shit like that, so okay. And dear God, they're doing stupid shit, but no. As far as, because I have to clarify that shit, because if I don't, someone will clip me and go, oh, Ken did this. Like, just trying to cover my ass as well. Taking care of it. Letitia's therapist did more harm than good. Oh yeah, Letitia's therapist. I fucking hate that dude. God damn, that dude was stressing me. Like, watching that shit was fucking stressful because he was so stupid in his techniques and he doesn't do shit in a healthy way. That pisses me off because it's not setting the client up for success. He would, you know, like for example, using Amberlynn Reed. There's thoughts that either A, her therapist doesn't exist, B, my thoughts are, if there is a therapist, that he's not saying the things that she's reporting, because A, she wasn't cured of PTSD in 4 sessions, or 5 sessions, or whatever it was. There's just no way. There's no way. Like, I can cure, you know, my PTSD, I'm trying to, it's cured now, or like, it's so much better now. It's like, wait a minute. Slow down. I've yet to meet someone who can have PTSD go from fucking 100 to like 15 that quick. Like, motherfucker, tell me your secrets. Give me the codex. I need to know, because that's amazing. Sure, you can maybe find ways to reduce higher symptoms. I mean, like, there's quick techniques and certain things you can try to apply that might work for people, but to have like a complete reduction in symptoms, holy shit. I haven't heard of that. So my thoughts are, the therapist is telling her one thing, and she's either lying or misunderstanding what the therapist is saying and reporting it as another thing. And I don't like to assume people are lying. I don't like to do that. But there is a history with Amberlynn and her behaviors and why she's doing things the way she does. You know, like, for example, one of the current things is the whole topic on she's never cheated, but yet there's all these talks about how she's admitted to cheating. And people are showing the receipts, and it's like, it doesn't fucking matter that the receipts are being shown. So, there you go. So, let me scroll through this chat here. I'm kind of, Dead Snake, kind of thinking of unsubscribing from you. What should I do? One of the times I'll give you advice is you should stay subscribed, and you should join my OnlyFans. That'll change your whole opinion of this thing. Justin, I hope I could change your opinion of therapy, because not all therapists are shit. There is some really good therapy out there. It doesn't matter what your issues, you can fucking do some really good therapy. You find the right therapist. Let's see what else. Tracy Butt went out to call her mom. Where'd it go? That Snake said, if you cry him out, that shit's heterosexual. You mean homosexual or heterosexual? I wasn't going to cry on stream. Like, I damn near cried when I read it the first time I was messaging the client. When we go back to that topic, like, that was intense. It was really intense to hear such a positive change in my client. That was all I wanted. I just wanted this kid to not want to end their life. It was fucking just very stressful at the time. This was like, they were with us for 6 weeks. Those whole 6 weeks, I had worked more hours than I had in a long time, salaried. Dear God help me, working like 17-hour days again. It was like I was back at my first job, one of my first jobs, like making shit money. So like not making any overtime, like all the fucking shit that was going on in that facility, all the bad staff, trying to keep this kid alive, trying to keep other kids in safe conditions. Oh shit. God, that's almost giving me fucking memories. But, you know, that was one of those times where I don't care if you want to unsubscribe because I'm crying. I have a kid almost killing themselves to doing so much better. That's something I feel I'm proud of for them. I'm just glad I was there to be a part of the picture. That's all I care. No heterosexual, did I stutter? I'm already on your OnlyFans. I know you are. The Ken doesn't cry on stream. That's why he's been gone for months. You caught me. Caught me red-handed. Oh, shit. Does anyone have any topics or fucking current events? Or any cool shit to talk about? Because I feel like I'm running out of shit. We're only not even 2 hours in. This might be the like very first short stream. It's happy anniversary to Ken's Counseling Couch. I don't even remember the exact day that the fucking thing started. I'd have to find... Motherfucker, where'd it go? Channel, analytics, overview, lifetime. May 16th, 2020 was the official start date of Ken's Counseling Couch channel. I don't think my content went online until my very first video was, because I was on other people's streams. So you can find me on other people's streams. I have a playlist or two, like the Ron Toy interview on Knuckleheads. God, that's funny. That was like 8 hours of like complete full. If you want to talk to someone who has a true delusion, that was a good example in my opinion. I think a lot of shit to watch, but definitely fun. Okay, the very first stream of Ken's Counseling Couch, even though the channel was started in May, so I could be in people's chats. The very first video went up November 30th, 2020. And then there wasn't another one until April 7th of 2021. Holy shit, there was a gap. But let's see. I got some cool shit to talk about. Starship Troopers Extermination is cool as fuck. That's about it, though. Don't even know what Starship Troopers is. Is that some, like, gay furry thing, that Snake? Gotcha. I know roughly, I think, what Starship Troopers is, but I've never watched or interacted with it. A crying Kenny mode. Motherfucker, I swear to God, I will ban you to all the places, from all the things. I'll ban you from Nick's chat. I'll ban you from my chat. I'll make sure he bucket everything. What, are you going to make like a little... I don't use stream elements, really, for like the alerts for donations and shit. I was going to say, what, are you going to make a crying Kenny mode that pops up when people donate $5 or something? So, I mean, if you wanted to, I could set it up, but that would mean people have to donate their stream elements and have to set it up with OBS and shit. If you want to do it, and if you can come up with some really cool reaction video, like clips that would pop up and like react, like for the different donations or whatever, like a handful of them. Like if you want to, not all I want is the base of the YouTuber model at this point. Everything else is extra, and there's icing on the cake. Like also, who eats a cake without icing? I love buttercream icing, so I just eat the icing. But yeah, if you want to come up with shit like that and it's easy to fucking add in or whatever, cool. I can always throw the voiceover on the fucking animation just for shits and giggles. I like making fun of myself. There's a lot to make fun of, so it's fine. No, it's gay furry stuff. It's gay bug shit. Okay. Oh, it's not good. You can't ban Chernobyl. That will revoke your status as the only heterosexual one. Look, I claim that shit every chat. No one believes me. The only heterosexual mod. But I'm not a mod on anyone's Rumble because apparently no one likes mods on Rumble. I'm not a mod in locals for Nick either. I've offered. He doesn't want one. So that's it. Ugly crying cat emote. It is. You motherfucker. You were fucking so banned. Let's see. Yeah. So for those who are new to my channel, since I've got the content history pulled up, my very first stream was on depression and suicide on this channel. Episode 2 was a two-parter on the old standards of care for transgender children and medical transition. Episode 3 made fun of self-diagnosing. Episode 4 was some PTSD stuff. We went into Maslow's hierarchy in episode 5. Neurobiology and psychopharmacology in 6. Went over the Killdozer tapes in episode 7. That was cool. Marvin Heemeyer talking about why he wanted to like fucking destroy everything. That was awesome. Okay. Episode 8 was my first discussion ever. This wasn't where the shit went down, but it was my first discussion ever about suicide shaming and child abuse bragging and the Sophie Long stuff. Episode 9 was analyzing the Sophie stuff. Episode 10 was Independence Day. Episode 11 had Dollhouse Phil on discussing pedophilic disorder and treatment ideas. Then we had episode 12 with pregnancy infant loss. Self-diagnosis again for 13. And then as we got into episode 14 is where shit went down. So episode 14 is where I lost my job. Fucking GoFundMe, and people got doxxed that I had nothing to do with. I did want people like there was some shit. That was the first 14 episodes on my channel. Technically, it was like 17 because of two parters, but 14 episodes in, I caused enough drama to like get fired. Like holy fuck, like never expected that. Thank you, Karen. So, but you have a stream about Killdozer? I gotta go back and watch that. Yeah, let me get you the link to that. I've got a playlist that I haven't finished, but it's the what is it? Where's that stupid button? It has like my playlists or has my videos in order chronologically. So like the very first episode, the second episode, the third episode, there should be a playlist on. Oh, let me post this in the comments. Motherfucker. Why did it not work? Let's try that. Okay. We post this in the chat. Oh, that's because my fucking laptop keyboard's not working. So, there we go. Post that in the chat. That's the Killdozer one. But there should be a playlist that's chronological that I need to finish updating. There's a playlist of some of my guest appearances on other shows. There should be one for like transgender kid stuff. I need to add the new transgender kid stuff to that playlist too. There's a playlist for, I think, Brontoye. There's a playlist for, shit, what else is there? There's another playlist too. I think some of the Sophie stuff. Oh, it's okay. That's like, I was literally in my contents thing in my YouTube dashboard reading my episodes, so I was able to just grab the link. So you're good. I'm not giving you special treatment. Might be worth it, but you still haven't sent me those pictures that you were supposed to, that I paid good fucking money for. But when you do send them, it's okay. It's okay. But no, it's good to be back. It's good to vent about my bitch neighbors because I'm still pissed about that, and B, just getting back into some of our routine because just a lot of shit was going on. We had a family situation where we thought my sister-in-law and five my nieces and nephews, which is five of them total, so 6 people were going to all be homeless, and so we were planning on that, and so thankfully that resolved itself, but we were planning on them having to move from 600, 800 miles away, and all doing it suddenly, and just money trying to budget for that, and it was stressful. Like, so thankfully things have calmed down to where I can come back. I will try to force myself to come on every Sunday. I want to try and do more than one. It just depends on my availability and what's going on during the week. So, but if we don't have any other, yeah, rest in peace, Marvin. I miss Marvin. Yeah, I think there are Rumble mods, but I'm not sure. So I'd have to check. But not a fan of Rumble. I like what Rumble's trying to do because YouTube just has a really big grasp of the platforms, and I don't like how they can just yeet your shit. Like, even though I don't like Kay, and she did violate terms of service, even though maybe her channel should have been yeeted the first time, she comes back and is generally following the rules outside of the code, the platform ban. Technically, I don't really want people taken down. Like, I would rather have people speak than not. And YouTube is not okay with that. Considering anytime you mention a word, and like if I mention flat earth in this stream, watch, there will probably be something at the bottom of my fucking video that says the earth is actually round. Because I mentioned flat earth in this video, or I mentioned COVID in this video. There'll be a COVID disclaimer at the bottom of my video telling you what the approved thinking on that topic is. So the approved COVID thinking, the approved earth round versus flat thinking, you will get all of that because I mentioned the keywords, right? I say those keywords, they're in the title, they're in the comment, like they're mentioned, they're going to get that fucking thing. That irritates the living shit out of me. The one thing I like that's countered that, not on YouTube, but on Twitter, is Elon having that the community thing where people can add their own, like, community submitted ones. That's like, this is actually bullshit. It's like a really good idea. Even though sometimes it's little politically biased. I think it's funny. So, look. Stop, the earth is hot. Listen. I have a friend who did seismic analysis in his job in the military, and can explain to you that he would not be able to do his job if the earth was hollow or flat, because of the way the sensors are positioned, the way the seismic waves interact with the sensors. Like, legitimately, the physics can all be explained, like satellites, like fucking uncivil law, even though I'm still have a slight irritation with him for bailing out on me at the last second of being on his stream because I wouldn't show my face. I fucking loved his description of the fucking GPS system and how GPS literally has to factor in relativity, because Joe Neerman, Good Logic, was shitting on Einstein theory of relativity a while back, and like fucking Uncivil was able to like go, no, GPS satellites have to take into account relativity because of time dilation and the slowing of fucking time experienced for a satellite versus for people on Earth. Like, that literally has to get factored into the math to properly calculate where the fuck you are, and so you don't drive off the Golden Gate Bridge. Like, that's built in to the system. Like, it's there. It has to work that way. Like, a satellite cannot fucking just orbit around in a big circle of a fucking flat plane. Like, it don't fucking work like that. It has, like, it wouldn't work like that. It would just come fucking crashing down. It would have to go in a circle, so it would go under the fucking flat thing. It would go under the duck fucking flat area with the dome on top. It wouldn't work. The physics don't work. It breaks. It breaks when you do anything beyond looking over the horizon. Oh, there's no curve at the horizon. I'm not going to fucking go. I will rant like the moon landing shit. It was literally harder to fake the moon landing in the 60s than it was to actually do it. That's fucking amazing to me. It still fucking boggles my mind that that's a thing. That it's easier to land on the moon than to fake the moon landing. So that's why, like, it's just a piece to show that we actually went. I can't. I hope there's disclaimers out the ass on this video. Like, I'm hoping for every disclaimer. I probably this video is, if it hasn't, like, actually, while I'm in my fucking YouTube studio thing, was my monetization fucking challenge. Monetization. Oh, this video may be earning limited or no ad revenue. Action. Request review. Yeah, I guess it's been limited, motherfucker. I knew it was gonna be limited. It gets limited almost every fucking time. So it was probably limited from the start. Request review. I have double checked that my video follows the guidelines. Request review. So I can get my monies. They probably aren't gonna fucking approve my review. I get turned over occasionally, but it's fucking irritating that I have to do that. All just because I mentioned stupid shit. There's nothing in my title or my description that gives any indicate. It's like they have a fucking hard on for me. I don't get it. So, look, I love that birds aren't real shit. That is one of my fucking favorite memes. I love that that's a thing. It makes me great. So, on Civil wish he was a VTuber. Look, whether or not you like him, I'll give him props. He's like, I know he's got a depression issues, and it's shown on stream and in his content. Which, if your shit's impacting your like real life, don't let, like, if being on YouTube impacts your real life, like, remember that chick that was threatening to contact the chick that was homeless, Adrastia, remember her, threatening to contact my licensing board and shit, all because I was trying to help her. If YouTube is impacting you that much, get the fuck off YouTube. Stop making videos. Stop doing the stupid. Just disengage. If you have to disengage, that's fine. No one's gonna fault you for it. I had life going on for 2 months. As damn near as guilty as I felt disengaging because people are paying me for my locals and shit. Like, I fucking felt guilty being disengaged for 2 months because I get supporters who pay me money, their hard-earned money, whether it's $5 or not. It's still their money, and I still respect it. I don't want to not, like, respect it. You know, just take a break if you need to take a break. Like Rakita, sometimes he doesn't do his streams 5 nights a week like he says he's going to. He's also got 5 kids and a wife and a bunch of other shit going on. And that's his income. That's his income source. Like, motherfucker, you don't stream, he don't make money. Fine. But if, like, the comments and shit are bothering you that bad, block them or just get off of YouTube. Take a break. I've had people fucking go at me and shit. I generally like to keep my chat open unless people are flooding the chat or, like, derailing the chat so bad. Then I'll flick them maybe for the stream and like remove the mute at the end of the stream because I don't like doing it. You know, because if people have problems with me, you can come in here. My stalker, Michael Palmer. Oh God, I miss him. It's been a while since I've heard from him. So, but I will give Kurt credit in that he has been doing things like working out, improving on his physical health and his mental health. You know, so whatever issues he or I may or may not have. I was watching his stream about I was in his chat yesterday about the Texas impeachment stuff. You know, I had no issues being there. I didn't say anything. Like, you know, it was just a little pet peeve of mine that I didn't get to do his stream because we had a cool conversation we were going to talk about. So outside of that, I really hope he does well for himself. I want people to generally do well for themselves. Anyone I've ever talked about, covered, discussed, like even Amberlynn Reed, I would love for her to, like, I've been tempted to do like a full stream or two, maybe with Tracy's input, because Tracy does eating disorders. Like, that's her fucking thing. I would love to see her thoughts on that, because I would have to find a way to bring her up to speed in like 20 minutes of all of the history, or at least the recent history, which is hard to do. Because it would be interesting to get that kind of expert opinion on it. My opinion, probably shit compared to hers, but I would like to see her get better. She's at 525 pounds. She started this shit at like 290 or 300-ish. Like, she's gained like 200 pounds. Like, that's a lot of weight to put on. I really hope she loses the weight if that's what she wants. If she doesn't, then she doesn't. That's fine. That's fine. I have no problem with that. But it's really sad to see her undermine herself effectively in the way she engages YouTube, the way she engages her haters, and there's a lot of, I think, concerns with the way she maybe manipulates partners and stuff along those lines, because there's just some unhealthy relationship stuff going on, if you ask me. But that's just my opinion, man. Motherfucker. All right. I think I could. Also, if anyone in the chat knows what the fuck I'm talking about, I will give you a cookie that I don't have. Does anyone remember the game Night Mist? That was like a multi-user dungeon. It was like a text-based game with like little icons and shit for like inventory and the shit you fought. And there was like the inn, and there was like a sewage underneath the inn, and like you had to do like north, west, south to like go through the dungeon, to go through the thing to do the fight. This is old. This is shit from like when I was like early 2000s. I doubt anyone knows what the fuck I'm talking about. So it'd be funny to see if anyone does know what I'm talking about. But I doubt anyone's played the game. I played it as a kid. It was fun. I'm a boomer, but I'm not a mud boomer. Okay. See, I'm the same thing. Like, it's kind of weird being like, because people will be like, "You're a therapist. Why are you commenting on shit like this? Like, why are you shitting on people?" I'm like, I'm not shitting on people. I'm just, here's my thoughts. I still hope they get better. Like, and then some occasions I'll laugh because some of it's funny. I'll laugh, but here's how they could correct it. Like, that's on them to do the correction. Like, I cannot fix it for them. It has to be them who fixes it, not me. And I'm sorry that's the case. Like, I don't want it to be that way. So it's just doing it the right way. So let's see here. Why is this not? Okay. All right. I have a PC capable of running Doom 2 until those things with the console pleb until then. It's like Ralph. I wanted to be better, but enjoy watching the show. There you go. Perfect. So, all right. I think I am running out of things to do and talk about. I genuinely appreciate everyone being here today. It's been good to catch up. It's been good to talk to people. And I cannot wait to do a really cool stream next week. Hoping next week for episode 69 for obvious reasons. I think it'll be fun. Any last words, any comments, anything like that before we finish up the show today? Because, man, it's just been one of those days. I've been like really tired recently. It's kind of hard to like figure out why, but I'm hoping to get that issue fixed. I fucking hate feeling tired, even with like all my meds and shit. Still feel tired, like as a motherfucker half the time. So I found for Rakita from the Nocturne. I originally watched. I found this all this shit. Accidentally found the Kumite is a suggested thing back in the day, and it went from there. So don't ask me how. I found like watched the Kumite, ended up watching Ralph, then I found Rakita, and then been watching Rakita since before. It was watching him a good time before his 24,000 subscriber live stream. That 24-hour live stream. I've been watching since before then. Like, that's how long I've been watching. So, yeah, that was a good time for the show. It's been a long time. So, I found Nick, the Ralph, who found the Kumite. But look, the Kumite was really good sometimes. It's just sometimes it wasn't. And it sucked when it wasn't. Because, God, they fucking did stupid. Like, Tonka was stupid. Some of the people they had on were kind of dumb sometimes, but outside of that. Anyway, before I get on to another fucking tailspin of a rant, thank you everybody for fucking checking out the stream again. Let people know I'm kind of back for now. There will probably be a point where I take a short break when we move eventually, or when I have to do certain things for the house. But you know, I definitely want to stream again more because I like being able to stream and what's the way to phrase it? I like streaming and I like being able to interact with my chat. My chat's the best one. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Check out my old content if you're looking for something to watch in the meantime. I've got almost probably closing in on 80-ish or more lives videos together. If you want something to watch, yeah, welcome back to the shit. Definitely. So, all right. Let me find my stupid outro, and I will catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching episode 68 of Ken's Counseling Couch. Have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and take care. And insert closing saying here that I have yet to figure out. Peace.
Crash it, change it, melt, upgrade it, charge it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick